Mr. Alan Nutman joining us, Chief Strategist at Agora Financial. Alan, what's up? Are we going to buy this dip today or what?
I still remain bullish and positive. We knew it wasn't a matter of if, it was just a matter of when we were going to see some unwind and some profit taking. I mean, let's remember, the NASDAQ went up nearly 50% straight up. So there's going to be some pullback, and now it's our job to kind of sort it out. Some of the risk reward is a little bit more advantageous than it was, obviously, the last couple of weeks. And let's see if we can stabilize and hold around this 3,000 level in the S&P and then make another up move.
Yeah. So we've got a big test. Alan, do you turn bearish if the market breaks down from here?
Well, I look at things on a weekly basis, and I trade options so I can ride out the ups and downs and have some staying power. So we did make new all-time ever highs last week in the NASDAQ. We also made new weekly highs in the S&Ps from that bottom. So we've been stair-stepping higher. And technically, that's a very positive thing. So I'm going to be evaluating what we do on a weekly basis. Even with that sharp sell-off, it still wasn't that bad of a week last week, if you look at tech. We'll look to see if the buyers step up, and we'll really have to evaluate this price action and see if this was just a temporary blip, or are we trading sideways and we have to maybe adjust and temper our time horizon. I'm still very positive, but markets do need to pause before they go higher.
Okay, so we're getting a pause, and whether or not it turns into a sell-off, I think, is now kind of the test, right? I think we can still describe even last week's selling as a pause on the big picture time frame. We've run so much. Alan, earnings this week.
Exactly.
You got some company trades you're looking at. You got your eyes on Oracle ahead of the report?
Yeah, I'm looking at Oracle. It's just a technical, simple trade. The stock has traded between 40 and 60, and it gave back about 10% last week alone. So it's given back, its loss for 2020 was essentially all last week. So from a value standpoint, it's traded in this range, and this range has been trading since 2016. That 50 level is a halfway point of the trade. So I'm leaning on 50. Again, a stock substitution strategy where I'm buying an in-the-money option that's going to act like the stock, but for much, much less cost, obviously. The 47.5 call is what I'm looking at below that 50 strike, below that 50 midpoint. And that option is trading for about, 5.5, maybe 6. Got some time. It's an August option, so it's got 70 days as opposed to the July option, which is a month less, but you're only spending an extra $75 to buy an extra month of time, which is very crucial to see how things sort themselves out. There's some insider money going into this stock, so I'm looking at it from a value standpoint, risk reward. I think there's a lot of potential here with limited risk, obviously.
Okay, so Oracle coming up tomorrow. Is this specific to any of the fundamental elements of the company, Alan? Are you looking for the classic Nutman move, which is a stock that should be up with the rest of their peers, but not quite there yet?
Yeah, that's really what we're looking for, is that rubber band snapback. This is a stock that hasn't really performed like the rest of the tech sector, and they're a big, huge name. So some of my indicators are saying there's a lot of smart money that sees something here. So let's see where she goes. Again, our option is mainly in the money. So the time value component and the component that's impacted by the change in volatility is very, very small. To get back to what Alex was saying about the froth, even with this huge run up in the VIX in the last couple of sessions, we're still at the 40 handle, which is less than half of where we were in March. So yeah, there's a little bit of a bounce, but that's because the VIX had dropped from 85 down to 20. So again, like the markets itself, a corrective move was in store, and now we have to see what happens. We want to see not how the market acted, but how it's going to react. That's going to be our big job to follow this week.
Okay. Watching Oracle, the 47.5 strike calls. Alan Nutman, ahead of the earnings tomorrow. We will be watching it, reporting it here as it comes out. Thanks for the thoughts here, Alan. This market is indeed at a crossroads increasingly as we test 3,000, as we test the top of the range we were in for a couple months. A fast pull back, but one that in the context of the rally is pretty confusing. What are we to make of it? Let's dive into the charts next.